I have been hoarding Sacred Shards since day one of this 2025 Hell Hades free-to-play challenge. And here on my challenge account, I currently have 5 Sacred Shards, and you can see the portal is aglow. There is a 2 times Sacred Shard event going on right now. So in today's video, I'm going to pull my very first Sacred Shard here on the challenge account. But I want to talk about how and why this is going to happen, because in the early game, Sacred Shards are a precious resource. So we want to make sure we get the most value that we can for our Sacred Shards. We also want to keep an eye out for the future. I am Colred. This is Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends free-to-play challenge. Let's get started. Just a quick reminder that my next Takeover Tuesday live stream goes up at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, February 25th. While you're here, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and consider joining our Discord community. Thanks so much for your support, and I hope to see you on Tuesday. I want to start by taking a look at the calendar. Now, whether you are a free-to-play challenge player or just a regular free-to-play player, if you are targeting fusions in the early game on your account, you have to be very well informed about the schedule that is coming your way, because you have to judge where to spend your resources and where to save them. It's really important that you don't accidentally burn through resources that are going to then prevent you from completing a very good fusion down the line. Or on the flip side, you don't want to accidentally oversave and not get value that you could get immediately, for instance, during a 2 times Sacred Shard event like we have going on today. So I'm taking a look at the calendar right now, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a insight into how I analyze this just as a free-to-play player, but also as a content creator who's competing in the challenge. So the Esme the Fragment event ends on Monday the 24th, and really in the early morning, so basically on the 23rd. Now, if you don't know, the current fusion schedule of 13 fusions per year started back in 2021. So prior to that, we had fewer than 13 fusions a year. But in 21, 22, 23, and 24, we always have had 13 fusions per year. Now, I've looked back at the past 4 years of fusion events in February and March. The biggest gap between those 2 fusions was 26 days. Now, that was back in 2022, and my guess is that there was a Titan event in there somewhere. But 22 days is a long gap for fusions. The shortest gap in between them was actually last year, where it was 13 days between the February fusion and the March fusion. So I can't know when the next fusion is coming exactly, but I can project that it's probably not going to be fewer than 13 days, and it's probably not going to be a lot more than, say, 17, 18 days. I could go as high as 26, but let's just plan for the most likely occurrence. Now, we know that the day that a fusion starts on can be any day of the week, but the most common day, about 90-95% of the time, is that it starts on a Thursday. Okay, that has been true for about the last 2 years. So this doesn't go all the way back to 2021, but about 2023, they started releasing fusions on Thursdays. And yeah, probably late in the year. And all of last year, I think we only had 1 fusion that didn't start on a Thursday. We've already had one that didn't start on a Thursday this year. I think it's less likely, maybe, that it doesn't start on a Thursday this year. So if we look forward from this calendar date, from the end of the Esme fusion. So the Esme fusion ends on the 24th. Now, the next Thursday would be the 27th. That's too early. The following Thursday would be March the 6th. That is only 10 days. It's possible that the next fusion could start on March 6th. But I think more likely, the next fusion is going to start on Thursday, March 13th. Now, again, this is a guess, but based on the patterns that we've seen over the past few years, I think this is the most likely starting day. Could certainly be fewer days. It could certainly be more days. It could start the following Thursday on March 20th, or it could start on a different day of the week. I don't know. But I'm going to target March 13, which means from today, the 21st, I have 20 days. 20 days from now, or 21, depending on how you're counting it. 20 days from now until the next fusion starts. In that time, the question becomes, can I start completing the top chest of Nightmare Clan Boss so I have an opportunity to get more Sacred Shards in the next 20 days? Well, here's the thing. I'm currently on probably somewhere around a 4 to 5 key nightmare clan boss. That's about where I am right now. But I do think in the next few days, maybe in the next 10 days maximum, I should be able to get that down to a 3 key nightmare situation because I'm going to be 6-starring some more champions. And if I pull anybody during this current 2x Sacred Shard event that could help me out there, that might also boost my output. So I have champions in the pipeline right now who are already level 50, who I think are going to help me. I have a potential speed tune in mind that I'm hoping to get to in the next 2 weeks. But chances are I could be starting that fusion without too many Sacred Shards if I pull all of them today. Now, there's another consideration, which is when will I need those Sacred Shards? Because there's a champion chase and a summon rush. And basically what's been happening is that we've gotten summon rush, champion chase, summon rush, champion chase, alternating every week, right? So if we think about this, that we're going basically 3 weeks out, we currently have a champion chase that is going on right now. So 1 week out would be a summon rush, 2 weeks out would be a champion chase, 3 weeks out would be a summon rush. So summon rush those are the events where I need the Sacred Shards the most. So if I can save a couple of Sacred Shards during this event that's going on right now, that would be good. If I could save 1 or 2, because maybe that means I end up with, say, 3 Sacred Shards by the time the next fusion happens, the summon rush happens, and then I've got an opportunity to complete that. Now, I can also just go all in on mystery shards from now until 3 weeks from now, and hopefully that means I would have something around the mark of 2,000. I could probably get to about 2,000 mystery shards if I don't keep pulling them for the next 3 weeks, like rapidly. And then I might not need too many Sacred Shards. I might even be able to complete that summon rush with just mystery shards and maybe some ancients or what have you. The other thing we want to remember is that we've got two times events that are happening. But if it's 3 weeks out, we're not going to have a 2 times event because 2 times events happen every 2 weeks, not every week. So that means it would be a summon rush on a week where there is no 2 times event. So I want to do all of that analysis before I decide how many shards I'm going to pull today. So now let's jump into the game and I'll talk to you about how I'm going to pull these shards. And there's one last consideration before I start pulling my shards, which is this champion chase tournament going on. Anytime you pull or use any resources as a free-to-play player in the early game, you want to make sure that you're getting as much return as you can get. So this champion chase tournament actually matters to me. Now, I told you I have 5 Sacred Shards. So the maximum shards I could pull would be 5, and the maximum number of points I could get on 5 Sacred Shards would actually be 2,500 points if I pulled 5 legendaries, which isn't going to happen, right? But that would be the maximum number of points. Now, below this, you can see there's 1550. That's the Epic Tome. Epic Tomes for me right now are highly valuable. I have at least 2 to 3 epics that I need to book out right now. And so every Epic Tome matters. So this would be what I would target. But realistically, with 5 Sacred Shards, if I miss on all 5 and I pull 5 epics, that would be 1,250 points. I would have to finish this off with mystery shards, which could impact my ability to do the fusion down the line. So realistically, I don't know that this is in play. Now, there is one other consideration, which is you can see for 4,500 points as a minimum, there is a Queen of Hearts who is actually available. I'm highly unlikely to be able to compete for this as a free-to-play player. A spender somewhere along the line, even a low spender, could just buy, 10 more shards or something and go and get this Queen of Hearts at the last moment. I'll keep an eye on it in case this doesn't move, but the chance of me getting 4,500 points is highly unrealistic unless I get really lucky with shards from the clan boss in the next couple of days. It's just not going to happen. So this is not something I have to worry about. I'm keeping my eye on the price. However, another Epic Tome might be in the works. So if I could pull off a second Epic Tome, maybe hit 3 on the list and get these legendary Relentless pieces as well, that might be really valuable. Again, spenders are probably going to come in here this day. This tournament's only half a day old. So likely all of this is going to be put out of reach. But, even if I can land in the top 10 and get some gems in multi-battles, that's not a bad thing. So there is potential for that. However, again, I'm thinking about the fusion in March. So if I look at my total fragment shards here, 5, I have 5. There are a lot of possibilities. I could pull a legendary on my first pull. Now, if I do that, the question becomes, do I want to keep pulling? Or do I want to start saving those 4 shards for next month's fusion? Because here's the thing. If I pull a decent legendary, it's going to take me more than a month to get them built, right? And by the way, I should have said this before, but based on that calendar analysis, if the fusion event happens around the date that I expect it to, around March 13th or whatever I said, there will be about 2 weeks after that fusion ends before the challenge ends, because the challenge is only right now 42 or 43 days old. So again, I'm 1 server day behind, so it's 43 days old. So if we're looking about 20 days from now would be 63 days, right? And then it's 2 weeks to complete the fusion, maybe 15 days. So we're talking about 78 days, maybe something like that. So that means we get at least 12 days after the next fusion to actually utilize that champion in the challenge. So that is enough time. That's enough time to move the needle on an account. 12 days, in that window, I think if it's a good fusion champion, could be a massive improvement for the roster. By the way, 15 days before that or so, when I know what the champion is actually, or even before that, when I know what that fusion champion is going to be, if I decide it's not good for the account, then I can start using those resources, 30 days before the end of the challenge. So that's also something to keep in mind. But like I was saying here, if I happen to pull a legendary right now on the first shard or say the second shard, I may want to stop because I'm not going to get a lot of resources to build more legendaries. I can maybe build this legendary if I get one, and then that last fusion legendary, and that would be it. That would be all of the legendaries I could potentially build well in the 90-day window. Now, if I don't get a legendary, let's say I get a really good epic. Let's say I pull like a Deacon Armstrong or somebody who could be really valuable for my account today. Well, again, I'm looking for epic tomes. So at that point, the question becomes, do I keep pushing in the effort to pick up these potentially up to 2 epic tomes? The one here at 1,550 points and the one on the leaderboard at 3 or 4, rank 3 or 4. It's a good question. It's a good question I don't know the answer to. I am leaning towards the idea of playing conservatively. So if I pull a good champion on the first shard, that might be it. Or the second shard, that may be it. Because worst case scenario, I still have, I think, 2.5 days here. I could wait until Sunday night to make the final decision and pull more shards there. So there's a lot of analysis that goes into this. And then I know you've been waiting for a shard pull video. So now we're going to actually get to it. We're going to pull our shards. We're going to start here. I actually don't want the Cheshire Cat for this account. I need a support champion, preferably somebody with turn meter fill. That would be really good. That's what I'm looking for. So like a Yostrid would be huge. A Deacon Armstrong would be huge. Somebody that's got, an increased attack on a turn meter fill would be great. Or somebody who gives me like a block buffs and a cleanse. So like an Elva or a Freya or a Pythion, that would also be huge for the account. So that's what I'm looking for, somewhere in that range. But again, any good carry legendary could have massive impact on this account. So could any great epic carry. Okay, so that's it. 5 sacred shards. Don't know how many I'm going to pull. Could be 1, could be 5. Again, we'll have to judge as we go. I'd love to see gold right away, right out of the gate. Come on. Okay, we got an epic. Got it. Okay, epic. Scabrius. I don't think this is going to move the needle right now, but I do think Skinwalkers is open today. And so potentially he could help me get past the first boss here with Skinwalkers because I do have Wukong. So it's not a bad pull. It's good to have a Skinwalker. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to mention here, by the way, is that the decision-making process that I just laid out for you, that's important to do ahead of time before you start pulling shards. Because once you get into it, you don't want to end up rage pulling extra shards. So let's see what we get here. Another epic. Be good. Caden's not bad. This is going to help me in faction crypts. He is a Reviver 2 random allies. And I don't really have a core Dark Elves team. I do have one other epic who's not particularly good. But so this will help me with faction wars again. Okay, so I'm definitely going to pull. I'm up to 500 points. I'm going to definitely pull another shard. Let's see gold. Come on, let's see gold. Here we go. Yes, come on, be good. Be good. Okay, Crypt Grawl This is not a bad champion, not an awesome champion for me. Attacks one enemy, has a decreased attack, which is good. I need a decreased attack. I need a more reliable decreased attack. That's only 60%, but still decent. AoE HP burn. This is actually going to be significant for me. It's not going to be 100% because I'm not going to be able to book him for a while. Let's see how many books he takes. This is up to 9 books, 10, 11, 12 books. And then attacks all enemies, places a freeze debuff if they are under HP burn. And then if it's ascended, places a freeze and an HP burn debuff for 3 turns on targets already under HP burn debuffs. That's just weird. That's a weird freeze, but an AoE freeze is not a bad thing. So this is a solid champion for me. I might be undervaluing him right now. He might be very strong for me. It's hard to say. I do think he's going to be worth it if just for the AoE HP burn. That's going to help me in Spider. That's going to help me in a bunch of places. And the decreased attack is going to help me with boss fights as well. And then this freeze, I think, will help. It's conditional freeze, which I don't like. I wish they would take the condition off this, give him a little bit of a buff. But yeah, okay, so that's not bad. Now I have a tough decision to make because I'm at 1,000 points. I'm at 1,000 points. And so here I know now that with my two Sacred Shards, I can go and get this Epic Tome. And I think 2 Sacred Shards for an Epic Tome, it's a bad trade. But again, we've got a 2-time Sacred Shard event going on right now. Oh, Crypt King Grawl. I'm like sort of excited about it, but I'm also like, I kind of wish it was somebody more what I needed, you know, a little bit more what I needed. Although the AoE HP burn is gonna be useful. So now I'm thinking I'm probably going to pull all of my shards. Should I pull all of my shards? Go get that Epic Tome. Maybe end up on the leaderboard and get the next Epic Tome. If I get another Legendary, that would be massive. This is 2 more chances for good epics that can help me in faction crypts. So I think the value is there. It feels like the value is there to pull all of them. I know you're rooting for me to pull all of them. But let's see. Let's see. Maybe we'll save one. Okay, Thylesia, which is Knight's Revenant, which isn't going to hurt. Definitely not going to hurt. Increases duration of all debuffs on all enemies. AoE decreased defense. I've already got that with Ugo. Debuff. Let's see. Yeah. I've never really liked Thylesia. I know a lot of people do. But all right, last shard. Last shard. Here we go. Get something good. Nope. Tashada. Okay. Now, here's the thing about this. First of all, she's actually not that bad. She's not that bad. She's got a triple hitter on her A2 with a 100% chance to land the big weekend. She's got a revive. So this is going to help me in faction crypts as well. She's also got faction crypt, a good speed aura. Yeah, so she's definitely going to help me in barbarian faction crypts. I don't think I'm going to use her anywhere else, but it's always nice to get a faction crypt reviver. So I don't actually think I've ever used her before. Okay, so I got some value. And I'm definitely going to go and get my Epic Tome with some mystery shards over the rest of the weekend. Or if I pull another Sacred Shard from the clan boss, I might. No, I probably wouldn't, because there's no extra value there. So unless for some weird reason I get an opportunity to, go up the leaderboard and get, like a legendary tome or better gear or something. I'm probably right now sitting at 3rd, and I'm probably going to just try to hold on to that spot if I can. But if 4th is okay, get that Epic Tome and the gear, that's fine. And if I got knocked down, I get knocked down. But I'll get up again. You're never going to keep me down. I don't know why. But I have to do those things sometimes. Okay, so that is it. Let me know in the comments below. First of all, what do you think about my Crypt King Grawl pull? Should I be more excited than I am because of that AoE HP burn? Maybe I should. That's a good champion for a challenge. And then if you have him, let me know how you build him, where you use him, if you've used him in the early game, because that could definitely help me out. And then the second thing is, what do you think about my analysis? Do I still have an opportunity to go for next month's fusion, or do you think it's going to happen earlier than that? I'm going to be in trouble. I'd like to hear what you think. All right, that is it for me today. I have been Colred. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you in another video soon.